my name is Jane. I am a junior in the sculpture program, and I am doing a demo with vinyl fabric. Okay, so the demo that I'm gonna do with the vinyl fabric today is adhering it to itself with heat. And so I have a couple little examples. You can also, with heat, add texture, which is what I'm doing here. You can use a couple different things to kind of generate that heat. I like using this hair crimper because it adds this kind of cool texture. And so here are two different pieces with just the texture, and then this is adhered together. So I'll do it with two of these pieces. I like to do it, there's a side that is smoother and a side that has a little bit more texture. That's the frosted side. I like to do the smooth side to smooth side. I don't actually know if that adheres better. However, that's just what I've done in the past. So this has been heated up and it is ready to go. So I'm just going to basically press it into the vinyl fabric and hold for like a count of like 5 to 8 seconds depending on the heat. And then once you pull it out of pull it off of the heat, it's very, very flimsy and can rip super easily. So I usually set it down and kind of let it cool and let it adjust before I do anything else to it. With the heat, there's also a change in the translucency. I really like the frosted vinyl because I think the translucency is super interesting, but when you apply heat, it turns transparent, and you can kind of see it in this piece specifically that's already cooled down. The frosted vinyl is a lot harder to see through than the part that's been heated up. Once it's cooled down to the touch, it's really unscientific. It's just kind of once it cools down. It's nice to handle, it's been adhered together. If you do, depending on how long you heat it up, it will pull back apart. The longer you heat it up, the more strong the bond is. So this like 5 to 8 seconds is pretty strong. If I did really pull, I could pull it apart. The vinyl fabric probably would rip. But if I did it for like, I think these ones I only did for a couple seconds because I was doing it for the texture. I did them together at once and then I was able to kind of pull it right back apart. So I started working with this material in AFO. I was in Morgan's AFO class and we were doing a body extension piece in space. And I wanted to basically create this 3-foot circle, this 3-foot sphere. And I was trying to figure out the structure and the weight of it and how to kind of make it plausible in the real world. And Morgan and I came up with this idea of creating an inflatable so that it wouldn't have the weight to it. I could support it with my own body and all of that. And so we looked at different materials, and one that he recommended was looking at vinyl because it's easy to adhere to itself and you can kind of adjust it as you need it and you can get it in really big sheets. So I created this kind of like sphere that went around my head and blew up and inflated and deflated. And it was really cool. And I fell in love with the material and specifically this. I tried a couple different vinyls. I got little samples and my favorite was the clear frosted vinyl. Yeah, so I've done a couple different projects with this. Another reason I'm attracted to this particular material is the translucency, like I said. Depending on how far away you are from the vinyl, it changes how much you can actually see through it. When you're up super close, you can see pretty clear in detail, but as you get further away, it blurs whatever's behind it. And so I think there's some really cool conceptual like things behind that. I think it's fun to play with. And I think there's a lot of interesting implications with plastics and how they're made and how they're used and how common they are. And I think this is an interesting way to play with that specific material.